Eating is such a challenge when you're sick. Why can't it then be easy to lose weight? Hello everyone, welcome to Narain's Life with MS. This is Narain and it's time for a Truthful Tuesday. And this Truthful Tuesday, something to do with being sick. Okay, I do have one thing. That does happen. So, there is going to be a chance you'll have MS, you will fall sick, right? It might be a cold, it might be the flu. And the first thing that will happen is your symptoms will act up, right? And at this point in time, you need to just take in the fact that your symptoms are acting up, but do not freak out, because and this might sound a little, yes, but it is very important. Do not freak out that, oh no, this is what your life is going to be, because what ends up happening as soon as you fall sick is your body is putting all of its protective measures out there. What ends up happening is that there is going to be almost an extreme case of inflammation that will go on, right? When I felt sick last Thursday, I did not have the energy to stand up on my feet, and I pretty much crawled my way to from my bed all the way to my door. And chances are you might have to do the exact same thing, but don't look at it as, this is what it's going to be, right? This is just your body's first first reaction. You can almost imagine it like a puffer fish. So when a puffer fish senses danger, it expands, right? It becomes big, all of its spikes come out, and then if you do see it, or if you actually see it, swim around, it will slowly deflate, but it will take some time in deflating. So you just have to imagine your own nerves, your own body getting inflamed like that almost immediately. And slowly over time, that inflammation is going to go away. It's actually going to be pretty quick, but it is going to take some time. And the most important thing is that you cannot freak out about it. The first time it happened with me, I naturally panicked. The second time it happened with me, naturally I panicked. The third time it happened with me, something fell. Naturally I panicked. And there is going to be, at least for me, there is going to be a certain part of me that is going to always panic every time I fall sick. And it is more as a result of me realizing that, okay, fine, the guards are up, right? That now my body is more of in a fight or flight response, that the inflammation has gone up to full force. because the first thing that is going to happen is, yes, the inflammation is going to hit the roof, right? You are not going to be able to feel, you know, parts of your body. There are going to be certain things that are going to happen. Your legs will refuse to move, and at the end of the day, you will feel the need to panic. And you can panic, but do know that, it is sort of your body's way of just putting its guards up so that there is no other damage happening at that point in time. Now, the reason that recently for me it has become a little easier to understand that, okay, this is my body's shields up, it's going to take some time to get back down, but it will get back down eventually, is to know that, it's how your body pretty much fights off many things, right? If you get an injury, for instance, even if a mosquito bites you anywhere, right, you will get that bump, but then one thing you will also notice is that it gets a little warm around where the mosquito bit you, because your body senses that there was an injury over there. And of course there is other things in addition, but the first thing you have to know is that your body is intelligent enough to know when it has to have its shields up. And it's not just that people with MS face this kind of shields up thing. Everyone faces it, right? It's just that for regular people, for healthy people without autoimmune conditions like multiple sclerosis, normally um, it is going to be a little easier to see, right? But of course, a lot of the same symptoms that I would experience or another person with an autoimmune disease would experience, um, while we would experience certain symptoms to a certain degree, healthy people would also notice it, but to a much lesser grade, right? They would notice it, they would um, probably notice if they fall sick, for instance. So they would probably notice a dulling of their senses, right? Their senses are getting dulled. They're not able to hear very well. They can't smell a lot of things. Food doesn't taste as good, right? For us, it would be, or at least for me, it's the dullness turns closer to numbness, where it becomes a little harder to feel certain things. Usually, pain to some extent is a little delayed as well. And this is just because your body is trying to protect itself to the greatest extent. And that was one thing that I did want to talk about today in Truthful Tuesday, considering that you know since we're talking about everything dealing with being sick, one of the things that I generally worry about when I get sick is, okay, everything's dulled, my guards are up, everything's inflamed. What if it does not go down? And that's usually the first thought that comes into my head. And that is the one thought that I wish was not in my head at the same time. Because, of course, it's almost, you have experienced something. Your body has just let go of its airbags, And with airbags, they are going to lose their air, they are going to deflate, and just like that, your body is also going to deflate. It's going to release um, all the inflammation. It is going to release a lot of the things that does go up as a result of your body noticing that there is an intruder in its midst. So it's very important to know, and very important especially for you, if you are someone with an autoimmune condition, to know that even if you're sick, chances are you know it won't get too bad for you, as long as you try to keep yourself calm, know what are the important things. Do keep water with you, do keep certain medications with you, right? Usually what ends up happening when you do get sick is you might have a chance to develop a fever. Keep certain medications for the fever. The fever is probably the hardest thing to get rid of. It's probably also the most annoying thing to have during the entire time, because once you get rid of that, the rest of the time you're just waiting for whatever problem you have, be it a cold, be it a cough, be it anything else that just needs to kind of run its course, right? Which tends to be a little longer than for regular people. But of course, with that said, it is something that you know people with autoimmune conditions, people with MS, definitely experience. People might get used to it. I certainly haven't, not until yet. Partially because, um, you know, the one thing that I should have done rather than what I did end up doing was I should have just waited until the inflammation would have subsided a little bit, so that I would have gained, you know, would have gained a little more control over my legs, so that I could have gone to, let's say, the washroom. But because I felt that going to the washroom was maybe a much bigger issue, a much more pressing problem for me, when it was not, I thought it was better to, you know, just somehow try and get myself there. So that is a little truthful Tuesday for you, and that is, you know, do learn to get used to your body reacting to sickness if you have an autoimmune condition. But of course, with that said, this is Nareen's MS. I am Nareen, and I do hope your Tuesday went very well. I hope that you did learn to do something new, did learn something new yourself. And since I have nothing more to say, here's me wishing you a good night, sweet dreams, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.